Right, I'm Sean, that's Kay. So we released a video the other day where we reacted to the first 4 games? First 4 games it wasn't it? 1, 2, Brotherhood. Yeah, 4 games. So we're going to carry on. We're going to get it finished. Because there's a lot of video game cinematics I can show you that you'll enjoy.
Okay.
So with this one, we've finished with Ezio.
Is that the one with
the 2?
Yeah,
yeah.
2.
Yeah.
And you saw the old version of him, didn't you?
Yeah, in Revelations, yeah. That was Ezio's last game.
Okay.
Right. Bit of a time jump, this one. So I couldn't tell you the year exactly because my history of this particular period isn't that great. But watch, you'll probably figure out the time period quite quickly, I imagine. If I remember this trailer correctly, a lot of people were very excited for this game. So let's watch.
We're gonna get white cloaks back, white hoods.
No, maybe. Figured out the time period yet?
Is this American Revolution?
Yes, it is.
There's a bald eagle.
Yeah, there's an eagle.
Because they really want to make sure everyone knows that this is in America. So
Oh no, eagle.
Is that a big thing?
That's an assassin's thing, yeah.
In the name of freedom.
Bald eagles.
But it makes sense for America as well.
And justice. But for whom?
Not really disappointed when I realised that bald eagles weren't actually bald.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Bald eagles.
They're bald by choice.
That's kind of, yeah, it's like white hood.
Get out the way, man. Do not touch me.
Oh. Just gonna take them all on.
The answer to your question in short is yes. He's
What's that bow and arrow you got?
yeah, and it's a tomahawk. He's rallying the Americans.
On him!
No. No, there is. Famous American during the Revolution.
It's going to annoy us because I did study the American Revolution in school, but I
Come
can't
on, he's like the most famous of the Americans during the Revolution.
I can't remember his name.
He's got a state named after him.
A state named after him. Washington.
George Washington, yeah.
Uh,
Yeah, what do you think of that?
did I say Union Jacks at the beginning?
Yeah, they're fighting the English.
I know. Did we have the Union Jack flag at that
Oh,
point?
I don't know if we had the Union Jack at the point. I don't know. I say my American Revolution knowledge isn't that great. But look, they are. The Americans are also carrying an English flag. I can't remember. So, Katie, meet Connor Kenway. Or, now I'm probably going to butcher this, Radun Hagedun.
Okay.
I think I might have gotten that just right, but I'm not going to try and say it again. Radun Hagedun, I think, is his name. So, in case the name didn't make it plainly obvious, he's a Native American.
Okay.
Or, as you know, Native American. Who fights during the time of the American Revolution. And at this point, the Templars have pretty much won. They're controlling everything. They're essentially selling everything that the English are using. They're backing the English.
Okay.
But there are a few in the Templar Order who sort of abandoned and who are trying to sort of help the Americans as well. So, quick rundown.
I was expecting there to be a reveal of like George Washington wearing it as well.
Wow. There is a DLC where you fight George Washington. Crowns himself King Washington.
Oh.
But you can imagine why everyone was so excited for this game, because obviously the general concept of this type of warfare is two armies marching towards each other, shooting and hoping that at least one of the bullets would hit, and then it takes about 3 years to reload the gun.
They're incredibly like stupid guns, aren't they?
Yeah. But considering when they were made.
I know.
But in this one, as you say, Connor is not at all afraid of running headfirst at them. So people were very excited for that. Imagine taking on whole armies who've all got guns, but...
Thing is, though, and like I imagine, because like these are cinematic trailers, aren't they? So obviously, I imagine a lot of the stuff in this you can't actually do.
You'd be surprised, actually.
Yeah.
There's quite a lot of stuff he does that you can do. Things like when he holds the geezer as a body shield, you do that. That's the main way you get around these kinds of situations, is when there's a lot of them. You drag someone over, you use them as a body shield, and then they can't use their guns. But, so this was essentially the start of a new version of Assassin's Creed. They changed the way the game was played, the mechanics and stuff, the free run and everything. The game just looked different, completely different. But I will have it on public record that Connor is not a very well liked assassin.
Why?
Because he's not as cool as the assassins that came before him.
Okay.
Sort of, he's massively overpowered. That goes without saying. He charges.
He takes out an entire army.
He charges entire armies, yes. So he's massively overpowered, but he's not well liked in terms of character, because he's the son of another famous assassin called Haytham Kenway, who you also play in the game. Only for the first, I think it's only for the first 2 sequences, though. He only plays Haytham, but he is very cool. He is typical sort of English gentleman.
I thought you said he was Native American.
He is. His mother's Native American. His dad's an English gentleman.
Okay.
I mean, proper English gentleman. He attends the opera. You know, he talks to his.
Oh, he's like tea, sniffing, and.
But he's also an ridiculously cool assassin. But people loved Haytham, weren't so fond of Connor.
Right, so it's more like they wish they just kept it with.
They wish they'd kept it with Haytham, but obviously I can't tell you. But there's something that happens at the beginning of the game that actually I think is probably the biggest plot twist in all of the Assassin's Creeds.
His mum is one of them. What are they called? Templars.
The Templars, yeah.
His mum's a Templar.
A Native American.
I don't know.
Connor's basic.
You were like plot twist. I was like,
yeah,
that would be
it is a big plot twist, but I don't think you'd be able to guess it.
Oh.
Basically, Connor's story starts off is that he's trying to help the Native Americans.
Okay.
Because he thinks that the Americans that they're fighting against are led by a man called, I think it's called William Johnson, who's trying to buy all of the Native American land. But then it turns out that he's actually trying to buy it to keep it, like to not colonize it.
Okay.
So it is like some of the bad guys are quite good, because they're sort of like, when you kill them you kind of go, well, he's actually got a bit of a point there. He's not doing a terrible. There's one who's just like, I want to be drunk and I want to see courtesans all the time. That's my only ambition in life. But the rest of them are all sort of like
have a bit more to them.
Yeah, they're a bit in the grey. But it's also like the problem with Connor is that sometimes he comes off as a petulant child.
Oh, okay.
Like Ezio was really charismatic. Altair was just an unprecedented badass. Connor sometimes comes off as a petulant child.
Right,
But considering everything that happens, it is sort of justified.
Okay.
Well, what about Suit? What do you think about Suit?
I'm glad the White Hood's back.
Yeah. The White Hoods are on pretty much every...
He has a bald eagle on the front of his hood.
Yeah.
He's a Native American posing as an American, I presume.
Sort of, yeah.
Is that why he has 2 names?
Yeah. When he starts off his assassin journey, he goes to see a man called Achilles, who's
Okay.
essentially the leader of the assassins, but the assassins are in disrepute. They're completely
So all the work Ezio did was just
undone. But Connor does become the master assassin of America.
okay.
A lot of the assassin stories are about building up the assassin order
Yeah.
from the ground up.
Is that not a bit annoying though? Like they build it up and it's all cool, and then they're just like, oh, you have to build it
But
up
it's
again.
different countries though.
Yeah.
And obviously there's a long time that's passed between this one and Revelations.
What's a cool axe thing he's got?
Yeah, the tomahawk's cool. I really like Connor's suit. I think I like Connor's suit more than I like Connor.
It is a cool looking suit. It's not the worst.
No. The worst would definitely be Revelations so far, wouldn't it? The one with the deft little bits of fur on the side. Yeah, he's got a cool suit. But I suppose we should move on to the
Does
next
he
one.
have the hidden
Yes, it does, yeah.
blades? I
Yep.
didn't see them.
It's
Did
got two. And actually, I don't know if it was Revelations or if it was this one, but they actually come out and you can bend them. They've got like a sort of bolt in them so you can bend them into blades that he's like hold as knives.
It's gonna be like
Yeah.
stabby.
Yeah.
Okay.
Quite cool, actually. It's a lot better than the hook blade you get in Revelations.
We hold these truths to be self-evident. Our right to freedom, our land, and our way of life.
Oh yeah, Connor also has rope darts.
Die for what we believe in.
Is this another game? Is this another Assassin's Creed 3 trailer? You can also run through houses.
Stop. We will never back down. Because a life without freedom is not
Must be another cinematic. Another cinematic for Connor.
Give us liberty or give us death.
Oh yeah, must be another.
Cinematic for
Fair enough. Yeah, not much more to add on to that. Ah, here we go. Get ready for this one because this is about to go off. right. So for the next one, there's nothing much else from that trailer that you need to know about Connor. Wait for this.
It seems like at this point they're just trying to think of more ways they can like advance the knives.
Oh, actually, is this another? Oh no, it's not. Any ideas?
Yeah.
Oh, Buzz kills. It's got the white hood.
Wow, awesome.
Any ideas yet?
Any ideas yet?
Remind you of anything?
He took off his hood. That was a cool looking blade. Pirates. The pirates.
Indeed, they are pirates.
Put your hood on.
Nah, he doesn't wear his hood when he's on his ship. God. Oh, there's more trailers. This one had a lot of cinematic trailers, so we might have to work our way through them. But it's okay because it's awesome.
He has glorious hair.
Oh yeah. Glorious hair for a Welshman.
He's Welsh.
That was really horrible what I said. I didn't mean any of it, of course.
his hood's up. But what's he going to do? Is that there's no haystacks on the ship?
No, but they are surrounded by the sea.
Does he hide in the sea?
Doesn't hide in the sea, but if he has to get off the ship quickly, then he can jump in the sea. The music's very ominous.
Oh? Oh! Good lord.
Assassin's Creed... Oh, is this still the same game? Yes, it is. It's had a lot of cinematic trailers.
Has a cube with a red dot on it.
Any ideas who you could run into? Oh.
Any ideas who you could run into?
Is there another one? Oh, yeah. Another one.
All right, lads. I'll give you Blackbeard's honest opinion. You ask me, can this new captain promise you a life
Blackbeard.
of prizes, plunder, and adventure? Aye. For amongst all the gentlemen of fortune sailing these West Indies, he ranks amongst the most clever. There was a time when I thought myself the deadliest scourge of these seas.
All of the guns and all of the swords.
This man is a fearsome dog that feeds off trouble and turmoil. I seen him clear the deck of a Spanish galleon like it were nothing.
It's
Fighting
awesome,
like
isn't
a
it?
devil, dressed as a man. And he's a canny one. Knows his way round every crag and crevice of these islands. So if it's fortune and adventure you seek, then Captain Edward Kenway's your man. Only, don't meddle in his private affairs. For there's more mystery to that man than even I dare ask.
Ooh, but that's Blackbeard as well. No.
I presume you like that game.
Oh, I love that game. Is there another one?
Have you ever
Looks like
been
it.
disrespected,
Yeah, there is.
forced to follow orders?
Hasn't shown yet any temperance yet, has it?
Would
Well,
you
the people
rather
he's killed with his...
defy your
You
masters
presume they are, but usually it shows you the...
and live by the creed of pirates?
Oh yeah, those missions are horrible.
Are you ready to fight for the freedom to act as you wish?
Look how many guns he had just
Calling
trying to
all
get
men
rid of
fortune,
Edward.
Willing to pledge allegiance to no one. Calling all who are ready to defy. Assassin's Creed 4, Black Flag.
Right, I think that should be... Yeah, I think that's the last one. For him anyway. So we have to we have to talk a little bit about that because there was a lot of trailers there. So Katie Meat. Did you catch his name?
Edward something.
Edward Kenway.
Okay.
Grandfather of Connor Kenway. So it's Connor, Hatham, Edward.
So he's a pirate, and then his son becomes a distinguished gentleman, and then he's...
By the end of the fourth game, Edward's given up piracy.
Okay.
But he is a pirate. Starts off as a sort of... I don't know what you would call him. Just a sort of the average man working on a crew. Gets sort of spirited away almost because the ship that they attack happens to have an assassin on it, an assassin defector, as it were. Duncan Walpole is called the defector. What?
Just the name. I don't know why. The name just tickled me a bit. Sorry.
Okay. And he sort of kills this Duncan Walpole, takes his suit, and tries to infiltrate the Templars. Not to help the assassins at all, not to join the Templars, just because he's a pirate and he wants loads of money. Then, in essence, he essentially gets shanghaied into the assassin's lifestyle. But he's still always more committed to the pirate side of it.
Okay.
So you do meet Blackbeard. He's a very cool character, I will say. That's fairly universally agreed that Blackbeard is very cool in the game, because he's almost like Batman. You know how Batman's like theatricality essentially defeats your victim before you have to fight him? He's exactly the same. Grows this gigantic beard, starts putting these sort of wires in his head that he sets on fire, on his hat that he sets on fire, and he sort of screams at people and everyone follows him because they're all bloody terrified of him.
Love it.
You also meet Charles Vane, who's quite a famous pirate. What's the other one called? Something like Benjamin Hornigold, who was a famous pirate as well, but also turned on the pirates. Because what the pirates essentially try to do is they try to create their own little city, their own little pirate heaven in the West Indies, where they can sort of live. So they're battling the Spanish and the English at the same time. But obviously, with two great empires, nothing is ever going to last forever, and it doesn't. So Edward ends up sort of steering towards away from the piracy and becomes more of an assassin. But he is wholeheartedly loved. People love Edward. And they love this game.
I could tell you liked it because of the way you were going on.
If I had to, the game that I've probably played the most is probably Black Flag. Because it's just so much fun, being in charge of a ship. And you could just destroy other ships. Also, I created the Pirates of the Caribbean meme as well. I got loads of people to chase me across the beach. Some people's criticisms are that it's a brilliant pirate game, but it's not the best Assassin's game, because it is more heavily steered toward the pirate side of it, where the assassin side of it is more similar to 3. They didn't change much in terms of that.
Right.
But things like taking the ships and sinking ships and fighting ports and everything's just awesome. And he fights with 2 swords. That's pretty ridiculous. And he has 4 guns. Because he has to have 4 because they take forever to reload. So you fire off 4 shots, get quickly, done. 4 people dead. It's pretty awesome.
Okay.
But Kidd. Captain Kidd. James Kidd, I think it's called. Captain James Kidd. It's James? That's a famous one. You know who Captain Kidd is. He's a famous pirate. I'll take that as a no.
Unfortunately not.
There's a character I should also probably mention as well, called Adewale. You do see him? No. That's Adewale is the one that starts the fight, basically. Him, yeah.
Okay.
Him. He also becomes an assassin, and I think probably the next trailer is actually his, because he's got his own game. And basically, Adewale is the same as Edward. They sort of escape imprisonment together, but they kind of have, not a quarrel, not a fight or anything, but they have a talk where they kind of like, well, why should you be captain and not me captain? And they both kind of come to the same understanding that, well, because you're a man who's black in this time and day, it would be easier for people to argue against. Do you know what I mean? Like, for appearance's sake, it would be better if he had a higher position, just not captain. Because a lot of people around there were obviously still very racist and they had slaves and whatnot. So he becomes the quartermaster, basically second in command. And I think once Edward's buggered off back to England, Adewale becomes the captain and the main pirate as well. The main assassin. Quite a good character. He's a very good character.
I was born into slavery, deprived of any right, of any faith.
Looks like real
I
people.
was sold,
Just real people.
traded for labor,
Sorry.
forced
I think.
to watch the suffering, treated like a beast of burden. With no future ahead of me, I forged my own. And I knew.
Oh yeah, he's shredded, by the way.
blood would be the price.
Epic music.
Oh, rock to the face.
I never looked back. Never wanted to. Never had to. Until now.
As far as I know, I don't think Adewale uses... Oh yeah, he does. Never mind.
It's a black hood.
Yep.
Assassin's Creed Freedom Cry.
Freedom Cry.
So is he still a pirate at that point?
I don't think so. I think at that point he becomes a... trying to just...
An assassin.
Yep. I think at that point he's fully committed to... Oh, that's a bit of a different one. Right. So yeah, Adewale becomes an assassin. And he actually has a story that's very tied into Connor's story.
Okay.
Because there is a sort of middle game. Hasn't shown you the trailer for it, but there's a middle game where you see... Because obviously this ties into America as well. The West Indies. It shows you why the assassins essentially disappear before the American Revolution. Achilles is in... I don't know if he's in this one, but he's in the other middle game. And you essentially... You play the character that brings about the end of the assassins at that point.
Okay.
It's pretty awesome. But it's also pretty sad, because it also ties into the next game. And we'll make the next game the last in this video, because we're pushing half an hour now. So yeah, that was Adewale. So far we've met Connor Kenway. I've mentioned Haytham Kenway. Edward Kenway. Which is the Kenway clan at this point. And Adewale.
Okay. And they all kind of tie together.
They all kind of tie together. Yeah. So we'll play again now. Let's see if you can guess where this one is.
It's an eagle, but it's not bald, so I presume it's not America.
No.
That is... My first instinct was Notre Dame.
Yeah, well, I was going to say, we've literally seen it, so...
I know, but I was like, there could be other places that look like something like that.
No. There's not many places that look like Notre Dame.
So they're in Paris.
Yes.
Okay.
In France.
I know Paris is in France, yes, thank you.
Just in case, you know. Any guesses as to the time period?
French Revolution.
Yeah. Was that a complete guess, or was it because you saw the riots in the street?
Kind of, but it seems to be following the themes of like significant periods of time.
Yeah.
And this obviously was a big one in France.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, he has like a... Is it a black hood? Grey hood?
Blue.
A blue. Oh.
Quite a depressing song.
I know. I love how they just dive off.
Oh, this game, that's... Well, I'll wait till the...
He was wearing a green hood.
Indeed, he was.
So they're like helping, but not directly.
Yeah.
Oh, until now.
It's very depressing music.
Yeah. Well, I imagine it's probably a depressing time. Was that a crossbow?
Attached to the hidden blade, yep.
That smoke bomb.
Smoke bomb.
They had fluffy hats.
They did? Oh dear. Left to the mob.
It's been a while since we've seen more than one of them.
Huh?
It's been a little while since we've seen more than one assassin together.
Indeed, there has. Alright, so I think we'll leave it there. I think there's more trailers but for that one, but we'll leave it on that one. So yeah, so this, just so you know, there's only one assassin you need to concern yourself with. And if I can get a picture of him.
Is that the blue hood?
Yes. This is Arno Dorian.
Okay.
So when I said about the last game, I said you played the character that basically ended the Assassins in America. He also extends to this game as well. That one assassin. I think he's called Shay McCormack. I think that's his name. I think that's who you play in the sort of middle game.
Right.
Because Shay McCormack, spoiler alert, kills Arno Dorian's dad.
But he's also an assassin.
Yep.
So is it kind of like an implosion kind of thing? Is that what it's
yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah. And that essentially sets Arno down on the path of the assassin.
Assassin.
Yeah.
He's the assassin of the assassins.
Yeah. He becomes, France's master assassin, essentially. And I can't remember the entire story. I know the big plot line, which I'm not going to tell you, but it is basically him fueling the revolution.
Yeah, it seemed like that, yeah.
Yeah. So the reason that there was 4 assassins in this is because most of the Assassin's Creed before it all had a multiplayer version, but you would be killing each other.
Okay.
So you would just kind of be walking around the map, blending in, hiding, trying to find the other one and killing them. This one, you play together. So there would be missions that would say you can have 2 players, you can have 4 players, you can play it alone if you want, but it's easier if you have 4 players.
Mm-hmm.
And you would play, and you would essentially plan your attack as a part of a group. And it did have a lot of potential, and they also opened up almost every building. You could go inside almost every building. The map was absolutely massive.
That's good. But it wasn't the best of games.
It wasn't the best of the games.
Like story based.
Story, yeah, it was a bit naff. Arno isn't the greatest of the assassins in terms of character. He's very one-dimensional, and it's to do with a love interest. And yeah, felt like they sacrificed a lot of Arno's story for just the size of the game that they were trying to make.
Okay.
But they also fiddled along with some of the elements of the game that didn't need to be fiddled with, like the parkour. People liked the parkour, like the running and jumping, but they kind of changed the way the game worked and how you had to press different buttons to go up and different buttons to go down and different buttons to go left and different buttons. You had to sort
it was like harder.
Yeah, which feels like it probably should be because parkour isn't easy. I know from experience.
Yeah. But this is a video
but this
game.
was a bit too much.
Yeah, it's also a video game. Like everything's easier in video games.
Well, depends on what video game you play.
In general, you know what I mean.
Yeah, but he was still decent. He also added a much bigger element of you could change the way he looks, his gear and everything, his weaponry. You didn't necessarily have to use the hidden blade. That's why it shows you like the guy using the crossbow, the guy with the huge axe. You know, you could have like long guns. You could have all sorts. Just to like, if there was different missions, you didn't want all 4 of you to have the exact same weapons.
Mm-hmm.
But I never had 3 other people to play with.
Oh.
Shut up.
No.
I only ever had Michael, my friend Michael, and sometimes we played missions together. But Michael's Wi-Fi is like dog turd.
Okay.
So was ours.
Yeah.
So it didn't always work, but it's still reasonable. So looking purely at the trailers, and from what you remember from the last bunch, where would you rate the Assassins now? Just in terms of looks, my general description.
It'd be hard. My favourite is probably still Ezio.
Ezio, okay, Ezio number 1.
I liked the suit where he had which one was it? Was it the Brotherhood one?
Right.
Is that one? That is one, isn't it? Is that the one where he had the red and like the silver in?
Yeah, he had sort of like twirls on his.
Yeah,
And it went down into a silver
I
vambrace.
liked that one.
Yeah.
I just prefer the white hoods. I don't know why they changed the colour of the hoods.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So Ezio's first.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you what, you don't have to rank them all. Who would you say you didn't like the best based on the trailer?
Based on the trailer, it's not really. You can't really get much from the characters from the trailer.
So I would say probably if you're a smart person, you would probably say Arno is your least favourite.
For him.
Yeah. Because all the other ones have something that make them very cool. Arno doesn't have a lot that makes him cool, in my opinion.
Yeah.
This game felt like it could have been one of the best games ever made, but it wasn't. But actually, it's one of those games where people are going back to it now and are thoroughly enjoying it. So,
Like the openness of it.
Yeah. Because you could just start riots. One of the missions is to infiltrate Notre Dame, and one of the ways you can get in is by essentially setting off this gigantic riot outside of Notre Dame, and you can break in that way. But I was always more sneaky. I stuck in through the roof. that was my thing. So yeah, that was us reacting to however many trailers. 4 Assassins, I think we had, didn't we? Edward, Connor, Edward, Ade. I don't know. I call him Ade because Edward calls him Ade. So yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments. Someone commented on that last video and basically told me everything that I said wrong, which was good. Do that again because I enjoy reading people who actually fully know everything about these games. Because I don't know everything.
It'd be hard to remember everything about them. I mean, how many of them is there? There's
loads.
Like ridiculous amounts.
We still haven't even scratched the surface yet. I don't know if we're close, but we're going to go through a very major shift when the games go through a very major shift and change quite dramatically. Some would say for the best, a lot more would say for the worst, because they've actually reverted back since then. But I'll explain that when we get to it. Yeah, let us know what you think down in the comments. Say some game franchises you would like me to show Katie the cinematic. I've got at least 2 more that I know I can show you, because they're pretty awesome. Yeah, and then like the video, subscribe, ding the bell to be notified when we upload. We try to upload every day. Anything else you want to say? I thought that was 40 minutes.
If you were to be an assassin, where would you want to be? Like what period of time or what country?
The problem is that a lot of these Assassin's games now have covered pretty much every good country.
Every good country.
Well, yeah, I don't want to be no offence to Madagascarans, but I don't want to be an assassin in Madagascar.
You never know.
Run into King Julian every now and again. No, but even like England, there is an English one that you'll see soon. It's more the time periods. I would have liked to have been an assassin during the Tudors. Or the Wars of the Roses. What about you? Where would you pick? Be interesting to see where you pick, because it might be a game already.
I'm trying to think of where they've been.
Yeah, so you can't do Crusades, Renaissance, the West Indies, the American Revolution, or the French Revolution. There's still quite a lot in the history that you can choose from.
Did they go like really ancient with it? I would go ancient with it.
How ancient?
I'd go like Roman. May if it went that far back, I would go Roman. Like Trojan War or something.
Oh, that far back?
Yeah, ancient.
Okay.
I did study ancient history.
Not ancient then, that's...
No, but I mean, is it ancient?
Well, Trojans and that's mythical, isn't it?
What?
That's more mythical, it's not ancient history.
What? What are you talking about?
Never mind. Okay, that would be a good one. I accept that one. As in, you would be in the Trojan War.
Yeah, something
That
like
would be
that.
a cool one, yeah.
Either that or Greece. Like ancient Greece. Is that one of them?
You know what? I thought you were going to say Greece because Greece is one of them.
No, because I did, yeah. I mean, I studied like classics, like
Yeah.
classical, like ancient Greece and stuff like that, so that'd be fun.
Yeah, Greece is cool.
Like that. That's where I would go. I'd go like really far back.
But you do also see Rome. You said Roman?
Yeah.
Did you say Roman or ancient Greece?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought you just said Roman and then you said the Trojan War. The Romans and the Trojan War. It's different.
I know.
I didn't realise you said Roman or ancient Greece. I thought you said Roman and then Trojan War. You do meet the Romans. You do see the Romans. You meet Julius Caesar. Different game though.
Okay.
Thank you for watching.
I need to know.